Yeah, I definitely need to do that.
So there's going to be a couple different things that happen, and this is going to be a nice simplified version to understand that as you learn more about mentorship topics and the deeper parts of the sciences, there's ways that we can see certain things happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and I'm going to illustrate something on a larger time frame here. So what I think I need to do is actually use a different chart where I don't have any drawings to illustrate this. So I'm just going to remove all drawings. This is just a random chart that we don't care about. And we're going to get here. Okay, so what happens is, in order to see what's going to happen in a move, we have to use what's called master timeframes. Master timeframes are the highest levels, and there's something else called controllers, and controllers are different, but we won't get into that right now. The master time frame here is a daily. That's the highest time frame level that it's hit. Oops, wrong color. The highest time frame level that it's going to hit. Okay, so this is your daily. Your daily is going to have a target. So this was the trade, and then every trade has a target. If it were to hit another daily like this, what happens is it creates a Pandora's box. So this is classic how we create a Pandora's box, target to target. 4 hour hits a 4 hour, 1 hour hits a 1 hour, a 3-minute level hits a 3-minute level, a daily hits a daily. What that does is it gives us these. It gives us trends. It gives us our daily trends or whatever the highest time frame trend you have. And then there's other nuances where if this was red on the top and this was what's it called? If this was red on the top, but then it was yellow on the bottom, so it was a 4-hour trend, then that has a different implication. Again, not for this lesson, but there's a difference there when we create trends anyways. So if a daily hits a daily like this, the purpose of it is to create a Pandora's box. Pandora's box creates range trends like so, or just trends. Sometimes they can be range trends, sometimes they can be trends, not important for right now, but it will create trends. When those trends break, that side of the Pandora's box is starting to cycle to lose, right? So you cycle, it pops and it loses the trade. So this is the point of levels targeting levels, is to create Pandora's box, right? Which gives you your trends. And then when trends break, we know what happens when trends break, but this is why, okay? So this is scenario one for targets. So now let's take this back a little bit and create the next scenario. So you have the daily right here, right? Now let's look for you also have a daily backside right here. So like either of these could be a target. If you hit your daily backside, I would fully expect this thing to move up.
Okay.
Now, instead of a daily, right? So you've got that there, you target a 4-hour level instead. So a 4-hour level could be here, for example. This could be a 4-hour level. This, your 4-hour level here. If instead you were to target a 4-hour level like this, instead of hitting one of these lower levels, or even if you go down to here or even back right here, this one looks like it's not going to be hit. That's already allowed to move. So let's use this one. So let's say you go and you target this level right here. The difference is that's now what we call +1, -1. The point of a level, such as this daily hold, is to target its other level. That gives you a neutral stance. So this gives you everything is equal, and this is why we have trends. We have a trend this way, we have a trend this way, because these things are equal. So what happens is one of these trends have to break. This is why we
Right.
target the same time frame to the same time frame. If you do what's called +1, -1, which is using the time frame down, it means that this is failing. This test of this daily is failing to create the Pandora's box. And if it's failing to create the Pandora's box, it means that what's happening is you are breaking up and above your level because this failed to hit its target. Every trade has a target. If you have a 15-minute level and it stops at a 5, it's going to break that 15 and go for something else. Now that what it goes for is another debate there. There's a bunch of tools we use to find out that. It could go for also a 5-minute level inside of a deeper range. It could be going for a combo level that still represents the 5-minute to 5-minute, creating a Pandora's box. Go for a +1, -1 against that 5 and stop at a 3, or it could go a time frame up and be a part of a larger move. So there's a whole set of different criteria there that we look at when we're deciding, okay, so if you have +1 to -1, what can you go for up top up here? That's a different scenario. We're not talking about that right now. That's a whole other thing. But the first core rule is that if you cannot create a Pandora's box, it means your trade has failed to hit its target, which means it hasn't actually hit its real target yet. Maybe there's a weekly up here. So it means you just haven't hit your actual target yet. So for whatever onset down here, this actually wasn't the
Oh,
final part of the move. It's actually going to go and target something else. So that's your +1, -1. So you your Pandora's box that gets created, or you have either a +1 -1 that gets created.
Fun.
So this is why we need to look for time frame down and to understand that. And this is at a logic flow standpoint, why as like a very first step here, we need to identify what our actual target is
Right.
from a logic flow standpoint. Does that make
Okay.
sense? So like
Yeah, no, that makes way more sense.
having this as a daily is critical for us to understand that. Not, I don't care if we're in the trade or not. That's fine. You have this marked, you never took that trade. You're like, well, why would I need to know? Because you need to know what it hits here. You need to know the implications of what is the next time frame down for what you hit. So if you had this as green, for example, like you did on your trade, and you never changed it to red, you wouldn't be looking, you would actually be looking for 5-minute levels. So if that was the case, what you would have done is you would have said, okay, well, then it needs to stop at a 5-minute level. So like after this gets hit, what's the 5-minute level that brought it there? Well, it looks like it's this one as a reverse. You have this right here. So it's continuously holding this 5-minute here. This 5-minute actually got hit and held. And so that hits here, holds that up. So then you would be just like following your trail. So it would be like this one here is a reverse, or something like this here, or likely like of some form of polarity here. And then when that gets lost, then you lose the move, right? Like likely this is some form of interior polarity that gets lost. You back test it, you lose the move. So like that's why, like if you had this as green, it's more about understanding why, like not about getting into this trade, but you change this to red, and now you're not sitting there saying, oh, I need to target this level. You're sitting there saying, no, I need to look for my 4-hour level, right? And then so that brings you down to like, okay, well, you got a 4-hour backside here, you got a 4-hour hold here, you've got this here. Whatever this setup of moves are, or honestly, and that would only offset it to break this. If those levels can't hold it, you're going down here to this, and there's still another 4-hour level on the way. So you could theoretically go and hit this next and go up, but then you would never be looking for this level, break this trade up here if this was green, because you would have never saw that to begin with.